Our country is a country of heroes. In every city, in many towns and villages of our country, there are monuments to people who defended our fatherland. Nowadays, we teenagers don't know much about our great people and their deeds. Some of us don't believe that there are many monuments to Russian heroes, which grateful people have erected all over the world. For example, the monument to the Soviet warrior liberator in Sheptovo Park in Berlin. Of course, this one is most famous. Now I'm going to tell you about some more monuments.
Suvorov is considered one of the greatest commanders in Russian history. He was awarded numerous medals, titles, and honors by Russia, as well as by other countries. Suvorov secured Russia's expanded borders and renewed military prestige and left a legacy of theories on warfare. He was famed for his military manual The Science of Victory and noted for several of his sayings. Several military academies, monuments, villages, museums, and orders are dedicated to him. He never lost a single major battle he had commanded.
In Turkey and in Europe, Alexander Suvorov is known as a commander who was never defeated, even in the battles when his opponents had 5 times as many soldiers as Suvorov had. But perhaps the Italian campaign made him and his magic Russian warriors known all over the world. In February 1799, Suvorov was given command of the Austro-Russian army and sent to drive France's forces out of Italy. He erased practically all of the gains Napoleon had made for France during 1796 and 1797. Alexander Suvorov gained the rank of Prince of House of Savoy from the King of Sardinia. After those victories, Suvorov planned to march on Paris, but instead was ordered to join up with the Russian forces in Switzerland and drive the French troops out. But the Russian army under General Korskov was defeated by Massena at Zurich before Suvorov could reach and unite with them. Surrounded by Massena's troops, there were more than 80,000. Suvorov with 18,000 Russian soldiers and 5,000 Kazakhs, exhausted and short of provisions, led a strategic withdrawal from the Alps while fighting off the French. Thousands of Russians slipped from the cliffs or died because of cold and hunger. Eventually, Suvorov's army fighting across the Saint Gotthard Pass and the Devil's Bridge escaped the encirclement. The loss of Suvorov's army was about 5,000 people, but Massena lost more than 20,000. Let alone he himself was lucky to evade capture in one of the fights against Suvorov. For this marvel of strategic retreat earning him the nickname of the Russian Hannibal, Suvorov became the fourth generalissimo of Russia. The amazed Italians and Swiss erected a monument to Alexander Suvorov and his soldiers in the Alps. Admiral Fyodor Ushakov may be called the terror of Turkish sailors, as he defeated many fleets of Turkey during numerous sea battles. But once Russian and Turkish squadrons had to unite, it happened during Napoleonic Wars. Admiral Ushakov and his united Russian-Turkish squadron in the Mediterranean Sea was ordered to liberate strategically important Ionian islands from the French troops. From the 1st of October to the 1st of November 1798, the French garrisons were knocked out of the 4 important islands. It remained to liberate Corfu, the largest and best fortified island of the archipelago. The assault on Corfu began at 7 a.m. on the 18th of February 1799. Russian and Turkish battleships and frigates started firing at the enemy's batteries on the island. At 11 a.m., the Russian Navy troops attacked the French fortification. By 2 p.m., the island was taken. In fact, liberating the islands created the Septinsular Republic, the first independent Greek republic since 1460. Paul I awarded Ushakov the Diamond Saints of Order to Saint Alexander Nevsky, the King of Naples, the Order of Saint Generis. And the Greeks remember legendary Russian Admiral Ushakov putting flowers to his monument. Visiting Tehran, you can see the monument to Alexander Griboyedov in front of the Russian embassy. Alexander Griboyedov is known as the author of the verse comedy War from Wheat, the satire on Russian aristocratic society. He was also a talented diplomat and a real hero who is remembered both in Russia and Armenia. Alexander Griboyedov was sent to Persia as the head of the Russian diplomatic mission. After the defeat in the war against the Russian Empire at the humiliating Treaty of Turkmenchay, there were strong anti-Russian sentiments in Persia. Soon after Griboyedov's arrival in Tehran, an Armenian eunuch escaped from the harem in the Persian Shah, and so did two enslaved Armenian women. They asked for help and were received in the Russian mission. As agreed in the Treaty of Turkmenchay, Georgians and Armenians living in Persia at that time were permitted to return to Georgia and eastern Armenia. However, the Shah demanded that Griboyedov should return those three Armenians. Alexander Griboyedov refused. On the 30th of January 1829, about 10,000 Persians encircled the Russian mission, demanding giving the three Armenians back. Soon the mob stormed the building. Griboyedov, other members of the mission, and the Cossacks, 40 people in all, resisted fighting bravely until the mob broke through the roof of the building and slaughtered them. The mob nearly turned the Russian heroes to pieces. In Armenia, the monument to Alexander Griboyedov was erected in the place where Alexander Pushkin saw the body of Griboyedov being transported to Tiflis on the 28th of June, 1829. During World War I, France, having serious problems, asked Emperor Nicholas II for help. So, the Special Expeditionary Forces of the Russian Empire, that included four separate special infantry brigades, about 45,000 officers and soldiers, arrived in France during 1916. In the spring of 1970, they were strengthened with an artillery brigade and an engineering battalion. The Russian forces, with French and British troops, defended the Champagne-Ardennais region. They didn't allow a breakthrough of German divisions in the direction of Paris. In fact, as Marshal Ferdinand Foch said about the Russian soldiers, those Russian heroes saved Paris and perhaps the whole France. After the February Revolution in Russia, the Russian expeditionary forces were disbanded, but about 1,000 Russian volunteers continued their service in the Russian Legion of Honor. And those Russian heroes were among the winners of World War I. France appreciated their deed and immortalized it in the monuments that everybody can see in Paris. Sergeant Fyodor Poletaev took part in the Battle for Moscow in 1941 till 1942. In the summer of 1942, he was badly wounded and was taken captive. From 1942 to 1944, he was in different concentration camps on the territory of USSR, Slovakia, and Italy. In the summer of 1944, Italian partisans helped some Russian prisoners of war to get free. In Italy, more than 5,000 Russian prisoners of war became partisans. Fyodor Poletaev was among them. Italians called him Fyodor Politan. Fyodor Poletaev took part in many fights against German and Italian fascists. At the beginning of 1945, heading the attack of the partisans, he perished. Fyodor Poletaev was buried in Genoa. In 1947, the Italian state awarded the Gold Medal of Military Valor to Fyodor Politaev. This medal can be compared to the Gold Star Medal of the Hero of the USSR, which the Supreme Soviet of the USSR awarded to Fyodor Politaev in 1962. Fyodor Politaev became the hero of both countries, and in both countries you can see monuments to him. 75 years ago, on the 6th of October 1944, the first Czechoslovakian soldiers got back to the territory of their fatherland. They crossed the border between Poland and Slovakia with the Red Army. It was a result of the battle on the Dukla Pass that began in September. In August 1944, Slovaks rebelled against the Nazis, as the Czechoslovak government appealed to the USSR for help.
All across southeastern Europe, Czechs, Slovaks, Serbs and Croats and Slavs had learned the meaning of German domination.
The battle was very heavy. It took almost a month for the Soviet forces to reach Slovakia. The Dukla operation didn't end when the Soviet forces passed. Here Soviet and German tanks clashed a miniature reenactment of the Great Tank Battle of Kursk. Both sides lost about 220,000 people, perished and wounded. The Red Army defeated the First Hungarian Army and some big German groupments. The monument to the Battle of the Dukla Pass will always remind people of the heroism of Soviet and Czechoslovakian soldiers. I've just told you about very few monuments to Russian heroes that can be seen abroad. In conclusion, I must say that we must not forget the history of our homeland, the history of great defenders, great liberators, who fought for the peace on our planet.